So, what do you do if your own mother is an absolute disappointment? What? You honor her, of course. So, today is a special day. It is Mother's Day. This is Quarless Chronicles Live, episode 18, and it is the Mother's Day special edition. And what we're going to do today, yes, we are still in the month of May. We are going to get in depth into the developments of 1st of May and 1st of May timeline. 1stofmaytimeline.com. Check that out. It's revolutionary, okay? We're going to get into more detail in terms of what's going on with that, which is a little bit wacky. We go down a rabbit hole, okay? But firstly, I want to spend this moment to express absolute love and appreciation to all women. And this may be, yes, mothers, of course, but this may be other women who take on the role of guide, guardian, caregiver, someone who is there in a motherly role that helps to lift up those that are younger. It could be little babies, little ones. It could be kids that are in need, that they need guidance, for example, like adolescents. And so what we are doing today is honoring all women. There's something, and you know what? I have notes here. I'm not even looking at the notes because I'm getting a download. The universe is just flowing to me, and what I'm receiving is the fact that there is the masculine and the feminine energy. And yes, all beings have some element of both within them, right? Hey, you could be a male that has a lot of feminine energy. You could be what do we call it? An XX that has a lot of masculine energy. So what we have to do is appreciate and respect all forms of the yin yang, even if the balance is not totally equal. Of course, maybe there shouldn't be an equal balance in terms of masculine and feminine energy, but we have to appreciate and respect the fact that they are two halves of a whole. And within that, today we're honoring the feminine energy and what it brings, because honestly, the way I perceive God, source, the ether, that divine energy that goes beyond what we can comprehend, that people refer to as God, I definitely refer to it as an it. But I do get some, but it's bad. I was just thinking it's pretty tough, right? It's like I'm trying to, I guess, because I was gonna say I feel like there's more of like a feminine energy to it when you think about the forgiveness aspect and the elements of humanity that are kind and caring and seem to reflect what God wants us to be, not destructive and warlike, which is more coming from the masculine side of things. So as I like to maybe keep neutral, as I analyze and think openly, this is what's so beautiful about the live stream. I like to refer to God as it, not him. I know people, it's a common thing, especially within the Christian Bible, they refer to God as him. But I like to think of God as it, and it has the feminine and masculine energy. And so let's start with saying, if you are a mother out there, there are different forms of motherhood, right? There is the caregiver that stays at home, who raises the kids. Much love to you. There's the one that has to balance that with also working. There are mothers out there, I'm talking to you, much love and respect, who may through either through death or separation or divorce is out there raising little ones on your own. Absolute love and respect for you. And let's keep in mind that within this focus of what we're discussing, that everyone makes mistakes, has missteps, maybe says the wrong thing, does the wrong thing. This is part of the learning process. The secret that little ones need to understand is that we're all just human. And even, I've been around grown adults that still act like a child, and an immature child at that. So that's just a reality. So, and I've also come across little ones, 2 years old, that are just super wise, right? They're still learning, but they're observing and giving good wisdom out, during a lesson or something like that. So within that context, I just want to share from my own experience. I have met and interacted with all types of people, right? Men and women. And of course, within dealing with women, we have mothers. And as I just shared, I can think of mothers that I know. And what I'm doing now is I'm processing, I'm thinking about through time. And some of them, as I share now, some of them are women now, right? But girls I may have dated in the past and it didn't work out. And now I know that they have become mothers, and I knew back then that they were quality people. And now I see them as mothers raising their little ones, and they're just, because I know them in a more intimate, personal way. I can see how the way they I have personal understanding of how they interact and how they process issues and communicate. And I can imagine, because now at a distance, maybe we're friends on social or something like that, there's more distance, but I can at least get a sense of, from knowing them and how I see the imagery in the video and how they communicate, I can get a sense of how they are. And I think that's outstanding. So there's a lot of quality moms out there. So I want to make that point clear. I've also interacted with a lot of women, and I know things just from life where there have been moms who have neglected their children, even abandoned their children. In some cases, they've been aware of abuse, where maybe siblings are abusing other siblings, and they turn, what's the term? They look the other way, okay? They allow these types of things to happen, or they're just, some of them, oh, this is great, because I'm going through like a list of different women I know. Some of them are so self-absorbed that it's more about being the act. They're like an actor. So it's more about the act of being a mother, so the other outside world knows that they're a great mother, but really they're absolutely unaware of their child's deep needs to connect and be loved by their mothers, right? So there's a lot of processing to do. So some people out there today, for example, whether you're a mom or not, a dad or not, doesn't matter. We're all children, okay? And we all have mothers. That mother may be with us still. That mother may have passed on. The relationship may be fine. It may be estranged, okay? But in this context, the whole purpose today is, the theme is, no matter what. And there are even mothers that go beyond what I've seen or experienced, etc., that are purposely abusive to their own kids and this sort of thing. So you could be the person watching me now, listening to this. You could be one of those people where Mother's Day to you is actually a sad day. It's a day that you feel resentment. Perhaps you grew up in an environment watching, the Brady Bunch and the Huxtables, and we learned about Mr. Huxtable, right? So not everything you see is the true reality, okay? So there's what you perceive through media, through meeting, your friends' parents, and even family members, cousins, whatever. You have a perception of how things should be, and then you have your firsthand experience of what things really are. and that could be shattering, okay? That can destroy people's lives, okay? So remember, with mothers have great responsibility. So, or what's the term? Great power. Mothers have great power. With great power come great responsibility. And with that said, those of us that are children that have had experiences where the mother has not turned out to be what we would expect the mother to be, that is devastating. So what is the solution? This is what I want to share with you, especially if you're someone who has an estranged relationship with your mother, or your mother has passed on and there's still negative feelings, you still can't quite let it go, and you have this anger inside of you because of what your mother did or what she lacked to do, or how you had a perception of her being in this role. She should have stepped in or did something or said the right thing or refrained from saying that thing that really was hurtful. Whatever the case is, you now can't fix it. Or maybe based on the relationship, you don't care to fix it, right? Like, so whatever the context is, the solution is to honor your mother. And when I say that, the idea of honor your mother, like, that makes no sense, okay? Like, some people might be thinking, F mom, you know what I'm saying? So, and this is something I always heard from the Ten Commandments. And actually, as a matter of fact, today, it just came to me earlier in the day. I was at the gym doing my thing. By the way, quick side note, in April, I know this is totally off subject, but I'm going to say it because I have to make the point. In April, we discussed this concept of how to use rituals, these rituals, speaking in tongues. In English, of course, you're speaking in tongues. You're focusing on reaching objectives. My objective at 240 pounds in the beginning of April. April 1st was by the end of April. April 31st was to be 225 pounds or less. And I absolutely, based on the methodology that I've done, and we'll repeat that as we move forward in the future. So if you missed that, don't worry about it. Just stay tuned, stay with the flow. But there's a specific way that you can bend reality to your will. In terms of, I used an example, which was weight loss, because people understand this idea. But what we're doing is we're taking this same concept and we're moving it into something more complex and more a bigger idea, which is the 1st of May timeline project. So I needed to physically prove something with this ritual, and now we're going to take that proof and apply it to something more complex and see if it'll work, right? So it's an experiment we're doing. Okay, so the reason I just shared that was because I forgot to, and we're already on the 10th of May, but I wanted to share, because by the end I was cutting it close. I was like a couple pounds away and the day was close. And so it was like, I skipped a meal or two, but reached the objective, all right? So I was talking about moms. Oh, yes. I was at the gym today, right? And even, by the way, full confession or full transparency, I've regained 5 pounds. So I'm up to 230. So I was 240, down to 225, up to 230. But my standard now is definitely not going above 230. So the objective, I'm not making a promise now, but the objective is to squeeze it down. We already at 225. We can get there. Squeeze it a bit lower to 220. It's happening. It's formulating, but I'm not sure yet. I don't want to commit to that just yet, okay? In terms of end of the month, for example. Okay, at the gym this morning, I was thinking about what I wanted to cover today. And this idea of feminine energy, different types of mothers. There are, it's Mother's Day. So it's like, but all mothers haven't been great, right? Even a great mother might have made some horrible mistakes, okay? Or missteps. So how do we make Mother's Day a meaningful day for all people who have mothers, which is you, because we all have mothers, okay? And the idea of honor thy mother and father never made sense to me before. You know, the fact that it's one of the 10 commandments. It's like it's like God tells you have to honor your mother or father. Well, what if your mother or father was a horrible person, right? What if your mother or father neglected you, abused you, knew about abuse, and looked away? What if this is your mother? Okay, how can you honor your mother or father? And what came to me is that it is not about your mother or father. It is about honoring God. And what that means is you're like a new way to, or a way to shift the frame and look at it a bit differently, is that God used your parents, these physical entities that met somehow, interacted, their DNA formed together to create an absolutely new being, which is you, which is a biochemical computer system in the physical realm with a non-physical consciousness that interfaces with the ether. You are a powerful being, okay? And in order to get here, vessels were needed. So when we think about honor thy mother and father, what it really means is honor God for allowing you to exist in this present moment, and God needing to get you here somehow, which is through these vessels called mom and dad, okay? Through mother and father, through these vessels. And a step further I want to take is, everyone has their own trials and tribulations through life. You can have someone that had a perfect family. The mother and father were cool, awesome, and then I'm thinking of someone right now. The father drops dead at 50 something, and it was totally unexpected, okay? Or the mother develops an illness, cancer, and has a painful life, but they were very good people, right? So it's like, why would God do that? Or you have somebody, a mom or dad, that lives a long time to a ripe old age, but they were an asshole through their whole life and nasty, okay? That child had to deal with that issue, right? So it becomes, it's not about how to judge it, whether the parent was behaved good or not, or anything related to that. It's what it means is, as a being in existence, surrounded by, yes, you have parents, you have siblings, possibly, you have people you interact with in school or in work or whatever, in the street, in public, right? You're just here existing, and whatever trials, tribulations, if you will, where did that come from? Whatever issues or drama or problems you've had through your life, in whatever form they've come, including through your parents, through your mother, those are things that are there to strengthen you. If you are, and this is for young mothers, or perhaps you don't have children yet, but you're interested in having children, and your mother was neglectful or was absent, and it hurts, it feels painful, okay? Maybe your mother was unaware of your needs in terms of needing to connect, and this sort of issue, you have the opportunity from that experience to be aware of that experience. So when you have children, or even right now, maybe my message right now is directly for you, not for anybody else, just for you, because maybe you already have children and they're of an age where they need you to be there in a certain way that your mother wasn't there for you, and you've been repeating that pattern. So this is your moment to recognize that and change things. And that's how you honor your mother and father, by honoring God, because lessons come in all different forms. And that's the whole point of today. So hopefully that's helpful for you. I'm just going to look through my notes. We got that done. I have the names on here of mothers I know. So I don't want to share that. You screenshot it, you zoom in, you're like, oh, I know that person. All right. Oh, I'm loving this. Yeah, and I made this. I didn't even look at my notes. We're already done. 5 pages. We're already done with page 2. I didn't look at anything. I wrote them down, had a sense, used the ether to communicate. But the last point was, if you're a mother or father, forgive yourself. Oh, and that was the other thing. Two points. One is the 10 Commandments, honor thy mother and father. Yes, it makes total sense, because you honor God for creating the vessel. That's the real purpose of honoring them. It's because you're honoring the vessels, regardless if the vessels are effed up or not. The other thing is about this idea of forgiveness. I've always heard that you forgive, and this is how you can forgive even if the person is no longer with us, okay? I've heard this term that you forgive someone not for them, but for you. And it was always like, that's a bit abstract, that's a bit weird. But when you look at it in the same context of honoring God and so it's almost like, hey, even other people that have wronged you, it's like, this is a lesson for me. So I trusted this person deeply based on a framework that I was given in terms of what, family and friends are supposed to be like. And I trusted this person deeply, and they betrayed me at a level that is beyond comprehension. And where normally, yes, it's taken a long time to process and, get over it, but it's more than get over it. It's like rise above it and see this. I just heard someone speaking about this today, actually. It's like when your light is so bright, meaning you have the right temperament, you're positive, you're really experiencing life through, it's almost, I don't want to call it spiritually, but it's like you're allowing your higher self, the nature, the part of you, your consciousness, this energy that's like perhaps slightly outside of your total conscious awareness. There's something there that wants to experience life through you. And this is why, like what I do, I try to influence smiles as much as I can throughout the day. From the time I wake up and go out to coming home, everyone I interact with, I want to see positive smiles. What is that? Why? What does that do? When I see positive smiles, and I know that I've influenced that, a funny, not like, I'm not like a comedian, but it's like, I might say something pleasant, which affects moods. This is the key. By affecting other people's moods in my environment, some people were susceptible to it. Some people were absolutely nasty and stayed nasty, but it didn't affect me. The energy that responded to my positive energy was definitely not a good fit. You move on. It's all good. Don't let it affect you. But once those that are susceptible have been affected and they smile, showing that, yes, the positive mood is reciprocating, those people, or the ones that were genuinely down, going through something, having an issue, and just some gesture, right? It could be something as simple as allowing somebody to go in front of you, or just a simple comment that it gives a pleasant vibe, right? And you can feel or sense that their mood adjusts. Maybe they're like, this world sucks, everybody sucks, and then there you are, hey, whatever, right? this experience of reciprocating positive mood and energy and seeing the proof through smiles, this process is awesome. I'm sharing that just as a standalone point because I suggest you try it. And yeah, I got off track. I'm totally off track because we were talking about forgiveness. Yeah, so it's almost like let me try to tie it all together. The idea of forgiving others, yes, it's almost like this because I'm thinking of the same idea. The negative ones that are nasty toward me, even though I'm giving out positive energy, that if you get a lot of that, it might affect you. I'm not gonna lie, right? But it allows you to see how being positive, projecting positivity into the world, into your it's an interactive reality, right? It's like a shared consciousness. We are a collective consciousness, and there are, just like there is a masculine and a feminine, there is a positive and a negative, like the different polarities, right? However, definitely, like for example, I am a man. I gotta be careful so people don't cut this, right? I can't be like, I'm a man, I have feminine characteristics. I am a man. I am dominantly masculine with also having some feminine characteristics, which is a good balance for me in terms of being a man, being masculine, but still having, some men hold it all in. You've seen me in other, if you've watched this series, you've seen me break down. I wouldn't say break down, but you've seen me get emotional and I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? And I actually learned that from my father, who was actually, I just thought of DQ today and how he and I are similar. And the one word that came through so clearly is authentic. So all my life, my father was authentic, was real, was definitely masculine, was a bit ruthless, was his the way he communicated, he was very he was full of vim and vigor. God bless you. All right? And but he also was very sensitive and he would cry. So it was like a beautiful representation of how you can be authentic in this world and not give a shit how other people perceive. It's not a selfish energy. It is and even self-love sounds a little bit like boastful, like self-absorbed. It's not like that at all. It's like you are a being, you know that you are a self, right? And you interact with the world, and your objective is to, of course, emulate. Is that the term? It is to percolate. I'm thinking of my dad now. You want to percolate the love energy, right? And put it out there and give respect and love and want to influence those all around you. And if there's negative stuff coming back, remember, it will be at a lot lower proportionality than the good positives that come back. And it's the same thing with how you approach forgiveness. Forgive yourself for things you've done in the past that you feel, sorry for, and forgive others who may have trespassed against you. You know what I'm saying? Let's pull a little biblical quote out of there. Yeah, and it's not even about the person, right? So it's almost like that negative person that spits negative energy at me. It's like, all right, whatever. Like, don't allow it to affect you at a level. You are a being of God, and God is communicating through you. Authenticity is your purpose, is your focus, and the others that are authentic. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and when you recognize that, believe it fully in your heart is magnetic, your brain is electric. You want to have a cohesive flow between the two, that within your biochemical receiver transmitter system we call a human body interfaces with the ether and you find others. Like attracts like. So keep it positive. Everything I just said, it sounds quirky and wild. It directly fits in with First of May timeline. It is bananas. All right. I want to take this moment to ask anybody out there genuinely who I have hurt in some way for forgiveness. I can think of people I have already intentionally reached out to ask for forgiveness, and whether they forgive me or don't, I have to accept that, but I at least want to make that effort. So I would recommend highly to you, if you're someone who has, even if your behaviors or actions seem justified or you don't see what the issue is, if someone else feels that you've, and I don't mean, fake stuff on social media or whatever. I mean genuine relationships you have with people. They feel hurt, they feel upset. It's a good thing for you and for them to try to understand where they are. Like the book, it's coming to me, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. You want to be successful in your world, right? Seek first to understand, then to be understood. So, for what it's worth, and I'm just thinking aloud here, the worst thing could be like, I feel sorry you feel that way. Some narcissistic, nasty spin on things, okay? If you're going to take that approach, you might as well, I want your forgiveness for being hurt, even though it's like you needed to hear that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we don't need any of that trash. Bye-bye. And for anyone that I have wronged or will wrong, and it is justified. Wait a minute. Okay. If someone is wronged, that is a subjective term. So I get the point. What we want to do, all right, I'm gonna move on because I'm thinking about it from the position of we're dealing with, right? It's almost like I just saw this beautiful video about sheepdogs, okay? So you have sheep and you have wolves, okay? And the sheep are out there kind, loving, la la la, la la la. This is why when I went to a retreat with Buddhist monks that are peaceful and loving, there's a portion during the day where we have staffs and we're doing, martial arts. Because the reality is, and you've heard of the famous Shaolin monks with all kinds of wild kung fu where they can manipulate their body, almost like they're so strong and their skills are so highly developed because of their minds. Their minds are so highly developed, and it translates into physical reality. It almost seems like impossible, but it's related also to self-defense and fighting. It's like, why are these monks learning that? Because if you only had sheep, and I'm talking to you directly, so it's like if you were only a sheep, or if there were only sheep, the wolves would come and feast. Okay, so that's where sheepdogs come in, and in a way, figuratively speaking, you should strive to be a sheepdog, because in one form you're with the sheep, you have that. Then let's talk about like the feminine kind energy. Mama's at home cooking the meal, right? Papa gotta go out and hunt. Papa gotta go out and cut down the trees or whatever. But in this sort of context, and hey, as I'm sharing this, like I said before, this is for men and women of all ages. We all have feminine and masculine energy in us. So please take what I'm saying to mean you directly, whoever you are. strive to be the sheepdog because you're with the sheep. You have that good energy, that peaceful energy, but at the same time, you know how to defend yourself. And I mean, of course, figuratively. You know how to identify the wolves that are in sheep's clothing and reject them and do it however you need to do it. Maybe you need to do it, subtly with the right sort of disengagement, or making space because they're nasty people. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe you call them out on it openly in a public forum, and then that helps to let the wolf go bye-bye, okay? But I just saw this beautiful video of a sheepdog that whooped on a wolf. So this wolf comes along. I even saved the video. The wolf comes along. I should share it on Facebook. The wolf comes along. It better not be AI. The wolf comes along and goes after some sheep, and this sheepdog is ruthless, and the wolf learns very quickly, oh, those sheep are unavailable for me. Let me run along now, out of this field, out of this area. All right? So we need more, and I've heard of this before. I'm not familiar with the organization, but I've heard of this idea. Maybe there's more than there. Maybe there are several organizations related to this sheepdog theme. I love the concept as I perceive it right now, not knowing about these other organizations. You have innocence, you have predators, and then you have the defenders of innocence. I love that idea. I love that concept. So in that context, when we're talking about people wronging other people, did the sheepdog wrong the wolf by biting into his ass when he was trying to get a sheep? I don't think so. I don't think forgiveness is warranted in that case. You see what I'm saying? Thank you. All right, let's move on from that. I see. Out to the Marine Corps. All right, but I also see this. Oh, Mommy, I love you. Happy Mother's Day. See, so we can have. Let me just fix something here. That's the perfect blend of what we're talking about today. So we can have something as ruthless as the Marine Corps with a beautiful flower, okay? So we're going to put the warriors, the sheepdogs, with the nice little sheep over here, okay? Let's not block that. There we go. All right, respect. We got to show it all. All right, give them respect. All right. So now, the moment we've been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are now getting into, so that concludes our portion related to Mother's Day. Much love to the mommies out there. And stay with me now. I just had some memories flood into my mind. Can't disclose it here. Maybe in a private setting. Maybe behind the paywall I could share some nutty stories. But that's for the right audience, okay? So, and I just want to make the point, single moms, not married moms, okay? Just want to make that point clear. Respect to anyone, whether it's through, you need to honor your word, whether you are in a, and I'm talking about moms and dads, okay? Or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, even people that are in organizations together or friendships, okay? Nothing to do even with an intimate, relationship, male, female, or whatever you're into, relationship like that. I just mean, this is why the term word is born, baby. Word is born. You could see I'm old school. Your word is your bond. You only have, ultimately, your word, okay? Even your flesh, your arms, your life, you don't necessarily have, okay? But as long as you do possess it, in this context of relationships and of society and culture and human interaction, you have your word. So keeping your word is ultimately a sign of an evolved character, whether you are a mother, father, a stepbrother, a sister, whatever, okay? Your word is your bond, so you keep your word, okay? So, and the reason I said that is it has to do with relationships as well. I just want to share, and I've been, for the most part, my track record is pretty good. Of course, there's been temptations and this sort of thing through life, and this is where you learn to grow and develop. And as we said earlier in the segment, you learn to forgive yourself, ask for forgiveness from others. This is in any context I'm talking about, not just intimate relationships. Any context, forgive yourself, ask to be forgiven from others, and then you work to better yourself, improve, do better each time, knowing that word is bond. Your word is your bond. And in the context of relationships, the ultimate way to do it would be, whether you are married or not married, if the other person, obviously you've said it, but if they believe it to be the case that you are only intimate with them, only connected to them, then it is up to you and your God and your process to be honest with them, right? And if you're in a situation where, and I know it gets complicated if there's kids, or even if this person might be threatening or abusive, right? I get the complexity, but the best way you can do it, you can try in the perfect scenario would be, and this is what I want to share just as a man, because I know men obviously, and there's a guy code and all that, but the idea is, if you are with someone and you're in a committed relationship and you want to go outside of that relationship, then you have a choice. If you want to go outside of the relationship, the next step would be to analyze why do you want to go outside of the relationship, and then you need to approach the person to see how to fix the issue first if you want to go outside a relationship. And then at that moment, you can either solve the issue or maybe you can't solve the issue. But before you go outside of the relationship, there is no going outside of the relationship, because the relationship then ceases to exist in that way. And then you are free to pursue something else. That is the way I suggest, is to ultimately do it with honor, and with the fact, if it's just like a side thing, that's really not my realm. I know people, guys and girls, they live in a certain way. That's not how I live. So if it was, and I'm talking to those people who might be interested in some other relationship. If you're in a relationship and you want to go to another relationship and you start to pursue that relationship while you're still in this relationship, what does that say about if this relationship ends and you go to the other one? Does that become the same pattern again? So the ultimate thing is, maybe you're afraid to be alone. Well, guess what? That's the risk you have to take. So if this relationship is not working well, or you may want to pursue something else, you need to bring that up first with your partner, end it if it needs to be ended, and then you have a risk of whatever you're pursuing doesn't work out. So now you're alone. So that's the risk you have to take. And that way you do it honorably. You honor the person you're with. You honor the person that you may pursue. You do that by honoring God, all right? And I get that people have different religious beliefs, and so I'm not getting into that, but I'm just saying in general, whether you're married or not, if your word is your bond. So if you're in something where both of you believe that it's just you two, then it's just you two. And if it's not going to be you two, you need to talk together, you two, okay? Together. All right, that's all. Thanks for listening. All right, so for the rest of this, we're going to talk about the 1st of May timeline. As I mentioned last episode, the entire month of May we are dedicating to this project, 1st of May timeline, 1stofmaytimeline.com. And what it is we are creating a choose your own path sci-fi adventure story based on true events. It's beyond discipline. It is absolutely devotion. And I just want to share, as I've been researching and getting ideas down and writing it, I feel a little bit like if you've seen The Shining with Jack Nicholson, when he's writing his notes and he's getting his ideas down, and then his wife comes and she sees the notes. If you haven't seen the movie, check it out. If you have seen it, you're gonna be like, this cat is crazy. Well, let me tell you how crazy it's been. There are facts. So the first objective was, in the previous episode, I've discussed how this idea of 1st of May came to be. I created a song called 1st of May 3 years ago. Then this idea came back, like it keeps coming back, 1st of May. There are multiple songs made called 1st of May. There are movies called 1st of May. It's like, what is this 1st of May idea? I don't know that about other holidays, right? Or other days. What is all this focus on 1st of May? So in researching 1st of May, there are the facts through history. I'm talking thousands of years through modern time, including May 1st, 2026, the announcement of, through a press release, 1st of May timeline, 1stofmaytimeline.com. That was announced, which culminates, it brings all the pieces together into a fully cohesive understanding of what 1st of May is, and that 1st of May timeline is real, okay? We have to do a disclaimer and call it a sci-fi book so I don't seem totally out of my mind, but this is something that's wacky. You've heard of the Mandela effect before? If not, absolutely look up the Mandela effect. This is where, and there are many examples of this, including different brands that have a certain logo. A huge portion of the population will remember, it relates to Nelson Mandela and his history. Some people have a certain memory of the history of this man, and others have a different memory. And it's like, what? Like a huge collection of people, like a percentage large enough. This is the Mandela effect. A percentage large enough has a memory of an event that has occurred. And then, though, when you look it up, it's not there. It's a different reality. And it's like, what? But so many people, if it was just one person, it would be like, oh, I must have gotten my dates confused, or, oh, I must be mixing up this idea with something else. It could be a major event in history. It could be a brand that has a certain logo, and you have it set in your mind, this is the logo, and then suddenly it's like, the logo is different. You're like, I don't remember that as a kid. And then you do the research, and the logo you have ingrained in your mind doesn't exist. It never existed. Well, guess what? In my research for 1st of May timeline, I have gone through and gotten factual information of certain key events or dates, things, not dates, of course the date is 1st of May, but key events that have occurred related to quantum physics or historical events where some major shift in global events happen that changes the trajectory of humanity. I'm talking huge events on May 1st. I found them and it blew my mind to the point where at first this project was, I'm calling it sci-fi, and it is because it was like a fun idea, but the events were so massive that I was like, wait a minute, maybe my sci-fi concept is like a true story, right? So I started to really believe these things, and I cross-verified these facts because I need to create a fact sheet because we're integrating factual occurrences related to 1st of May with this greater concept. This is the sci-fi element where the collective consciousness within our 4D reality has already in a future date soon to occur, the singularity happens. And when the singularity happens, we discover what God is, what the next levels are in terms of 5-dimensional reality, where there is no space, there is no time, there just is. And in that, spoiler alert, the singularity already happened because the singularity never happened. Because the singularity just is. But we are in a lower dimensional state where we are experiencing 3D space with the 4th dimension of time, and that process, within this process, that's where you get these timelines. So we are in the 1st of May timeline, which once you piece it all together, and you read the book, of course, once you piece it all together, you can actually see another spoiler alert, once you discover that it's real, you uncover your true power and how you can influence reality. Just like Oprah said, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Once you discover this, you get a universe, you get a universe, you get a universe, you get a universe, you get a timeline, you get a timeline, you get your own timeline. But it starts with belief, and belief is 1st of May timeline. 1stofmaytimeline.com. Okay? But what I want to share is that core dates that I discovered, and I was blown away, and I was like, this project book is going to blow everybody's mind by these shifting 1st of May events. I double checked, wrote them down, had them ready, and then as I was researching more information and compiling, suddenly previous events, 1st of May events, suddenly were popping up that it wasn't accurate. It happened on a different date. Maybe it was close. Maybe it was May 7th or April 30th, but it wasn't May 1st. And it was like, what? Impossible. So then I researched again, and now those occurrences are not on this timeline. So what I realized, and I have to actually document it, this is how I fix this issue. Some of the things are so off now, I've just disregarded it. You'll never hear about them again. Like, they're just not on the timeline anymore. Other things are still on May 1st, and they're still powerful enough to make a compelling story, a compelling case that we exist on the 1st of May timeline. What I will do, the solution to a couple of things that were so dead on, and now they're off slightly, is I will still include those, but acknowledge and make the point that I'm making to you now. And one of the ways to do it, I'm not even going to disclose which one it is, but it's literally like some concept was presented on May 1st of a particular year, about more than 100 years ago. I'm not going to share it here now, but it was like, what? Like fabric of the universe type stuff was presented exactly on May 1st. I was blown away. Double checked, everything's good. Now that's different. But what still exists within that framework is that a little bit before it was presented and a little bit after it was presented, and within this window of time falls May 1st. So what I've done, or what I will do, is I will keep, there's a couple of them. If more occur, because now I got them written down. So if more occur, it's like I don't. Some stuff I've written down, some stuff I have within the computer, but I don't think the computer is going to alter the dates, right? Because what happened was the dates were there, the links were there, and then it was like 1st of May, this happened, this is the link. I clicked the link, and then it's not that, it's the wrong link. And it's like, why is the link wrong? And then I did the research. Did such and such happen on May 1st? And it's like, no, that didn't happen on May 1st. It happened on May 3rd or something. And it was like, what is going on? So I'm rapidly moving toward getting the project created in real time. So the stuff that's there, solid in stone, 1st of May happened. It's powerful. It's compelling. That's there. Just a couple I want to still maintain and I'll make the point about the shifting timeline. So what I've done, I'll just give you the update because I'm a bit behind. What I've done is first gone through all of these different events. We're probably at around 100 different events that are worthy of considering, but many of those will either get combined into, we're calling them a node, but it's like a chapter. So one chapter may possess several because it relates to a similar theme, a similar idea, or they're standalone, or a third one is they'll just be omitted as I go through the writing process, but we're at about 100 of them. Those could be one-time events that happen in history. They could be a tradition or something ritualistic that happens in cycles, like yearly, for example. Could be the birth of somebody. And then the concept of the birth is like they're incarnating into the 5D collective consciousness that just is existing in the singularity. Within this timeline, someone needs to come, like a being comes and they have knowledge or skills, or they do something to help perpetuate the movement toward discovering the singularity through technological advances. Not to bore you with the storyline, but it's pretty cool. So someone incarnates here, born on that day, and then they pursue a life and they discover something or present something. Could be art, could be science, and that could be a great leader, okay? That then, because they were born on that date, and now they're in history for doing something memorable in history with that birthday. That's the connection. Another thing could be someone that dies on that day. It could be someone that they were, and the death thing's wild, because some could be a negative character dies and it's the end of an era. A positive character dies, but their life's work had to do with a concept that needed to be shown. So it's like, as they move on back into the ether, their message resonates because this is the date of their death. So there's that as well. And then within it, so there's these different types of May 1st events. Within that, there's like a general theme. Is this science-based, like a scientific basis? That could be related to the cosmos. It could be related to biology. Perhaps there's a technological development. Other things could be cultural or historic. And then within that, it's almost like this is how we're going to connect the choose your own path stories together. There's things within that, like subsets that resonate with each other. There's pattern recognition. So there's different patterns that we'll discover within the overall framework of the 1st of May project. There are system upgrades in terms of 4D preparing for the 5D reality to be unfolded before our eyes with the discovery of the singularity. And there's harmonic resonance. This can happen through, we have physical and non-physical reality that we exist in as we know. Just think of like light, for example. There's a huge light spectrum. we only see a certain portion of that. You have different types of waves, right? Microwaves, gamma rays, all kind of waves. There's a whole existence that we are in, but it's beyond us, okay? There's resonance within that, harmonic resonance. So yeah, there's signal boost. There's all kinds of cool stuff that has happened to like that we can document and show. Now, this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with today. I'm calling it the current, okay? Like the present flow. So we have, because this is an interactive, real-time writing project that's getting documented on Quarless.com. You can go there, or you can go to firstofmaytimeline.com. It'll lead you to the same place. This is a written project, and what we're doing is we are looking for proof in the present moment and reaching out to several different types of, we're calling them first of Mayers. These could be people that were born on the 1st of May, or somehow are related to the 1st of May through a project they've done, an invention, something like that, or movies, other entertainment. So I'm going to go through it quickly. And this is the disclosure here, just so you understand, we will make a concerted effort to ensure the following people are aware of the 1st of May Timeline Project, and they are given the opportunity to engage. So all of these types of people, we are going to make an effort to, some of them are almost untouchable in terms of the level of influence they have. There's probably, several gatekeepers to get through to them so they can hear the idea. We're going to make every effort possible that they at least know what the concept is, and give them an offer to engage, to participate, at which time they become part of the 1st of May timeline and perpetuate the inevitable outcome, which is the proof that we are on the 1st of May timeline. Okay, so with that said, and the caveat to that is, we are not going to specifically, at this point, the intention is not to specifically name names, because I don't want to name names and then they're non-responsive, and then it's like, oh, we're documenting how people are non-responsive. The intention is, a 1st of Mayer, like I said, could be someone born on the date, could be someone who's done a project or on that date or name that. There are movies and other songs called 1st of May, right? There's all kind of there's already a collective consciousness in the modern time related to 1st of May. And our purpose and objective is to do our best to ensure that all of that collective consciousness in the present moment related to 1st of May, these are called 1st of Mayers, all these 1st of Mayers are aware of firstofmaytimeline.com, the 1st of May Timeline Project, and then that's it. And then from there, what we do is there's actually a process. So think of it this way. There's actually a form that you're interested. So if you're a 1st of Mayer out there and you are interested, wait, hold on. We might take a clip out of here. Let me do like this. Stay with me. All right. This is what I love about doing it live. We'll do it live. So if you are a 1st of Mayer and interested in the project, you can come to the website, firstofmaytimeline.com. And as you start to go through the process, you'll see a link which leads to an interest form. That interest form is totally confidential. We're looking to see if you have interest in engaging, in connecting with how the project works. And with that said, if you decide to move forward, that will be documented publicly. If you choose not to, then all's good. We won't mention you, is the point. So we want as many people as possible to come through, engage with us, show that you're interested. We can give more information about what the benefits and the value are to you. including the more we make 1st of May timeline huge, those that are involved and helping to make it even bigger, we are going to funnel awareness and traffic back to you, including there is a money making connected. There's a way to earn money, a revenue. I'm trying to think of the cool way to say it. There is a revenue generation engine related to it with an affiliate system, profit share, methodology. So the 1st of May collective together grows and makes this project massively huge, proving that we are on the 1st of May timeline. And anyone out there watching this now, even if you were not born on the 1st of May, you have no relation to the 1st of May at all until this moment, you can choose to become a 1st of Mayer. You just have to prove yourself. Step in, step up, and let's go. All right, so just quickly, I'm going to go through who exactly I mean. People born on the 1st of May. This could be influencers in all forms. Musical artists, actors, athletes, business leaders. If you were born on the 1st of May, you are automatically a 1st of Mayer. You have the opportunity to just step right in and move forward. Hey, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, all right? Others are people. Oh, when I say influencers, I mean people of influence. So influencers, people of influence, associated with the date May 1st. This could be people that have released music, movies, other forms of art, books. They could be inventors who received, submitted for a patent or received a patent on that day. Could be an invention you presented, a concept you presented. Event organizers. These are people who on May 1st, organize events. So they're bringing a collective energy and consciousness to that date, May 1st. So these are people of influence associated with the date. We have people born on the 1st of May. We have people linked to the term 1st of May in some form. So it could be creators of music or movies called 1st of May. It may not have been released on 1st of May, but it's called 1st of May. Movies, books, songs. Within that context, within that framework, it could be people involved, producers, actors, writers, anyone involved. You are a 1st of Mayer and have an opportunity to engage and make this thing massively huge, reciprocating the energy back to you, elevating whoever you are, whatever you're working on. You are a 1st of Mayer, and together we are in the 4D collective conscious. Let's call it this. We are in the 1st of May I call it a FOM, an FOM, a FOM. We are in the 4D FOM collective. Let me try that again. Sorry. We're in the. See, this is what I love about this. Cut. Take 2, take 3, whatever, action. We are in the 4D, 1st of May collective consciousness as I speak to you, which is evolving into the singularity. The 5D, 1st of May collective consciousness. Here's another spoiler alert. You are it, and it is you. We are the 5D already. The singularity's already occurred. And what we are doing collectively, as we still exist, we can still sense the 4D timeline, right? That's it. We call it a timeline. It's 4D because there's 3 dimensions of space, 1 dimension of time, the timeline. We are currently in the 4D timeline, sensing the 5D. We are the 1st of May collective consciousness that needs to. This is why 1stofmaytimeline.com, 1st of May Timeline Project has been created, putting all the pieces together, letting all of the 1st of Mayers currently that exist here and now in 2026, giving them the opportunity to help perpetuate and make this thing rocket us into the singularity as the technological advances happen rapidly, exponentially, you know what's happening. So let's go. And I'm just sharing with this is the last point. The timeline clock will be added to the site because on or before, I believe it's going to be rapidly before 1st of May 2027, it will be known by the world, by everyone, that 1st of May timeline is where you exist. All right? Oh, I love it. You're going to be like, is it sci-fi? Is it a true story? Sci-fi, true story. Sci-fi, true story. We're about to rock this. I can't wait to share what I've discovered and how it all works. All right? And yes, I feel a little bit nutty diving into this research. So, yeah, part of me said, if the one thing that I do in life is I am known as Jim Quarless, that wacky guy that was pushing this idea of 1st of May timeline, and we are living on the 1st of May timeline. That's how I'm known. Everybody knows I'm that quack with that idea. If that's all I'm known for, I accept that. That's how crazy it is. It's like, and in researching it, in writing it, in pursuing this project, it makes me have a break with reality to where I am now in another reality, the 1st of May reality. So people in the other reality think that I'm nuts, but I'm in a reality that's real. That proves it. So it's almost like it doesn't matter if I go nuts. It doesn't matter if I have not psychotic, that's not good. That sounds really bad. That sounds negative. If I have not a mental, if I have a spiritual revelation, that's more like what it's called. If I, what you know what I'm trying to say. If my own sense of reality gets fragmented in some way from pursuing this project, it'll be worth it. That's how into this I am. I am devoted to this project. So follow along with me. Again, we're dedicating this month to 1st of May because we're in the month of May. So we have another episode because we have to get caught up. We're one behind. So I want to apologize for those that have been following week to week. I'm a little bit off. We are going to, stay with me now. We are going to have one midweek after we've compiled the list of all the different 1st of Mayers I mentioned. We're going to have a list and we're going to have a number. How many people? And then through the rest of the month, we're going to document the ratios, how many we've contacted, how many responded, how many are in, how many are not. We're just going to go through that process. But by the end of the month, that's the cutoff time. So if you were born on the 1st of May or been involved if you're a 1st of Mayer in any degree, and by the end of May, you're not a yes or a no, then I don't know what to tell you. Well, maybe we'll keep some separate section for you, the slow rollers or something, the non-believers, all right? So thanks for following along. That's our time for today. I feel great being back. So we'll see you again real soon, all right? Keep it real, always and forever. Bring that authentic energy. Bye.